Yo, this is Never Gallimore from the Dallas Cowboys, and I want to give a major shout out to Mike Tag. Keep bringing the hype to the Cowboys Nation. We love and appreciate it. Now, can you dig it? Let's get it.
Hey, I told you guys! Don't go marrying us just like him! All I've heard for the last 5 weeks is we want Dallas! So all you haters, you come down to me! You fuel the fire! Because I want it! Are you gonna say, hey, you dig it?
What is up? Welcome to another edition of Tag Nation. Your boy Mike Tag. You know, I guess I should be feeling a little sad. They should be playing taps here, shouldn't we, Jimmy? Before Jimmy T here. Make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, share. We got a lot to get into with the NFL playoffs, but we also got the college football championship game getting started at 7:30 my time, our time, I should say, Jimmy. And definitely got to check that out. But you know, rough game yesterday for the Cowboys. We're going to get into all the playoffs because we definitely want to break down some of this stuff. A lot going on. I don't want to make it all about the Cowboys. It was a rough showing, rough outing. After seeing that, you probably wish they didn't play any of their starters, and that way we wouldn't have to worry about it. Because, you know, like with everything with the Cowboys, there's overreaction. There's definitely cause for concern, but I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. And the season's over, and I'm going to forget about the 17 weeks, previous, and and just pack it in. But some do. I mean, some want to do that, and I mean, I respect it. But I'm all in. It's too late, man. What the hell are we going to do? You got to jump ship now? We're almost to the finish line of the season.
Well, and think about it like this. Again, you just got to make it in the play. We did make it to the playoffs. And I'm going to give a footnote to my Falcon. I know we're going to be talking Cowboys, but I want to give a footnote to my Falcon season. I said at the beginning of the year we'd be 9-7. Everybody laughed at me. We were 7-9. Lost 8 games by 1 score. Had we been 9-7, we'd be in the playoffs. Yeah. Shout out to Tyler Algier, who broke William Andrews' rookie rushing record for the Falcons. Hey, look, man, we were 7-9. We blew a lot of leads late. No Kyle Pitts for part of the season. No Patterson for part of the season. Mariota ended up being a bust midseason. So you know what? I'm happy, looking forward, going into next year. But again, you're playing next week and we're not.
No, I mean, that's what it's about. It's about getting in the tournament. You'd like to be playing well, but I'll remind my Cowboy faithful, we dropped 50 on Philly the last game of the season. We dropped another 50 on Washington 2 weeks before that, sandwiched in a not the best game against Arizona. And we went to, we had the home game against San Francisco and got slapped around the field for 3 quarters before they decided to wake up. So you don't know what you're going to get. I'm going to tell people is I live in Tampa. This Tampa team isn't any good. I mean, go look back at any of the games and show me one quality win, one game they look good. I mean, the fans here were jumping up and down. They showed up late against Carolina. They beat a 10-loss team to win a crap division. So, I just say pump the brakes. I mean, Dallas didn't really show anything. I mean, yeah, they didn't show anything literally, but I don't think they're play calling. I mean, I got to have faith that I can't believe the play calling could be that bad. I got to have faith that they held stuff back, that they just kind of, went through the motions. I mean, any Cowboy fan that understands we weren't going to win the division. The Giants were resting all their guys. Yeah. They packed it in. They're going to rest their guys and worry about the playoffs. Philly wasn't going to lose. So, I was hoping the Cowboys would add a couple drives, get them out, whatever happens. After the halftime, I was like, they got that drive finally, CD scored. I even said something. I was like, look, let's just let's take them out. There's nothing to be gained now. The only thing that could happen is more dysfunction on the offense, and it's what happened. And it gets, how it is, man. My Cowboy fans, I love them to death, but there's 2 extremes. There ain't nothing in the middle.
No, and it's funny. I saw what Steve said about, putting Brady into retirement on Fox. We'll get to that in a little bit because we played them yesterday. There's no reason you guys shouldn't beat them. No reason at all, except for, if Brady somehow, pulls something out of his ass like he does sometimes. But, getting back to what you're saying, I was surprised that McCarthy had, I think it was a point of no return when things weren't going well. I didn't think he wanted to pull Dak and the starters out without a rhythm. Because I'm looking at the scores, I'm seeing the Eagles up big on the Giants, who had none of their starters in. The 49ers were whooping Arizona's ass. So I'm thinking to myself, you're risking somebody getting hurt right now. I was shocked he kept him in. But
No,
again,
I was too, and I kept waiting. I was like, all right, take him out. And then it was a bad drive. All right, take him out. It was a bad drive. All right, take him out.
Yeah.
And they didn't. And on defense, I thought the same thing. But if you watch the defense, they were throwing different cornerbacks in because if there's going to be some trouble, if we're going to be in trouble, it's our cornerback spot opposite Diggs. I mean, you got Bland, but they want to use him more in the slot. But right now, I know we got Xavier Rhodes. Maybe he'll that veteran presence. Maybe he can just hold the fort down a little bit. But we've got a problem over there. Now you're going to get Van Der Esch back. You're going to get Hankins back. We've got some defensive pieces coming back, but defense didn't play bad last week. Aside from a couple big plays, some of the fill-in cornerbacks gave up. It really, the offense was the main issue. My biggest concern, and I do like that Rhodes sign, and I thought it shows something with this team that they're, at least from the staff, that they're in. They recognize an issue. And I always bring up Garrett, and I probably need to give up on that. But I always go back to that Chaz Green game and against the Falcons where we made Claiborne a multimillionaire in one game, giving up 7 sacks, and the stubbornness of the coaching staff not to make any changes. This coaching staff will do it. They'll go out and get other people. They'll bench people. I mean, they're rotating cornerbacks in left and right to say, hey, you get a series, see what you do. You get a series. And so I gotta feel better about that, and they'll put them in position. But if there's a concern, I'm going to be honest with you. Dak's interceptions, that's a known problem, and you like to say they don't hurt you, but in the playoffs, the errors that you can have is so minimal. But our running game, we've had some issues at the line, and we've been shuffling people around. I don't know the last time we ran the ball effectively. I mean, Tennessee, we didn't run it. Yesterday, we didn't run it. Who the hell was before that? Philly, we ran it okay, but we beat them with the pass mostly. I'm just not seeing that running game. That's what they got to get going. If there's a concern that we have, that's my concern, for this offense.
Yesterday, there was a complete absence of running. And then you see Dak I see him trying to force some double coverage, a couple triple coverage. Remember, there's one play later in the second quarter where he was almost picked off. The next play is a pick 6. Yeah. And then, my thought was this. Once the Cowboys had that drive at the end of the half, I said, you know what? This is where you sit your starters and just let it go. So I still scratch my head at that, but nothing bad happened. Did Curse get hurt? What happened with him? I saw he.
Yeah, he got hurt, but he came back. He came back and he was fine. Bland left. They kept him out. He had a chest contusion or something, so they left him out. Interesting comment from a man. Reason fans are too extremes is because a team seems to be that way. It's never a happy medium with them. And I would agree with you but then I can't. The reason I say that is the team, this is the first, if you're going to call this that they were all in, which I don't believe they were. If you're going to say they were all in, this is the first game they really shit the bed except week 1. I mean, they lost their losses. Jacksonville, overtime, it was a close game. They should have won, but I mean, it wasn't an embarrassing game. It was humiliating that we should have won. The Packers the same way. I mean, we lost to them in Green Bay. What else is new with the Cowboys and Aaron Rodgers? So that wasn't a huge surprise, at least to this Cowboys fan. Philly, we lost with our backup. We played pretty well, right? We played pretty well with the backup. We looked bad against Tampa. People forget Cincinnati. That game week 2, when everyone called them to be dead, we go in with our backup and we beat them. And we beat them, going away. It wasn't
Yeah.
You know, we control the game most of the time. So the thing I'll say with Cowboys, if you want to take any positive, like I told you, the silver lining, if you will, this team hasn't lost back-to-back games. And when they lose, typically they come back with a very strong performance the next week. So if you're going to hang your hat on something, that's probably the one thing you can hang your hat on is they've never let this be a trend, and hopefully it doesn't start on Monday.
Well, you know what it is. As a Falcons fan, we're in depression every year, so I can't say it. But as New York fans, man, I'm looking at Cowboys Twitter yesterday, and people are losing their minds. It's the end of the world. This and that. It's Armageddon. You sound worse than New York fans and Yankees fans or Knicks fans. I was just shaking my head. Everybody is now like Aztec God said before. Half of the Twitter, Cowboys fan base was saying, "We're done. We're out. We're screwed. We're going to lose next week." Like, man, zero optimism from half the fan base.
And my man Jay Tuck, he said it best. He was on he did a show afterwards, and it's like, you can't dismiss everything. We're all in. I mean, there's no where are we going to go? I mean, we're 18 weeks in. The playoffs are starting. The goal is to make the playoffs. We did that. We checked the box. We've won 12 games. Are we in the best spot from the seeding standpoint? No. I mean, unfortunately, Philly, they got hot early in the year, and they separated enough. And I always said maybe this team needs to have their back against the wall and fight to get in. It's going to be a tough road. I mean, make no mistake about it. You're talking about you got to go to Tampa, which they should win. They lose this game, I'm telling you right now, there's going to be some problems. There's no excuse to lose to this team. I'm just telling you, I don't care, Brady, 45-year-old Brady with that crappy offensive line, if they don't put him in retirement, then there's a problem. Their defense isn't any good. We should be able to move the ball on them. So I don't want to hear nothing about Tampa. But then they're going to have to go to Philly. And I like our matchup against Philly. I think we match up well against Philly. But then let's say they pass that up. Let's say they pass that test. Now they got to go to San Francisco, more than likely, right? If every high seed wins, now we know there's always upsets. And maybe Uncle Cheech has something up his sleeve to maybe make us feel a little better. But there's always upsets. So they got a tough road, but it's one game at a time. You're in the tournament. Philly didn't look very good. San Francisco hasn't looked great. They still got a third-string quarterback who hadn't seen any playoffs and hadn't had the pressure. So NFC is wide open. Shit, if Atlanta would have got in, I said you got a shot. The Giants got a shot.
Right.
I mean, it's wide open in the NFC.
I got to again. I've said it week to week. San Francisco, man, they look good. Right now, they're the strongest team going to the playoffs in the NFC. And to your point, you're talking about, Jacksonville and you guys lost in overtime. They've been on a roll going into play. Who would have thought that Horseface would take them? Like, they're on a roll too. They got momentum.
And I will find out what Uncle Cheech says, but I think they win. I think they win the first playoff game. I think they beat the Chargers at home.
Yes, I agree.
To your point, to San Francisco, let's not forget, it was just the week before. They gave up over 500 yards to a unknown quarterback who they got rid of Carr that carved that team up. So every team has flaws. There's no team that's perfect. I could flip you to the AFC and why don't we get into a little bit. I don't want to make it so much get hype on the Cowboys, but I mean, look at the playoffs, Jimmy. I mean, what are you thinking? And in the chat, what are you guys thinking? You're seeing Seattle at San Francisco, the Chargers at Jacksonville on Saturday, Miami at Buffalo. People remember that Miami game at Buffalo a few weeks ago. If Tua plays in this game, could be a very interesting game on Sunday. The Giants at Minnesota. Giants are only a 3-point underdog on the road at Minnesota. Very interesting. I definitely want to get Uncle Cheech's take on that. Baltimore at Cincinnati. If there's a team that I would say is playing just great football and is hot, would be Cincinnati. And then, of course, they put Dallas and Tampa on Monday night. You had a feeling that was going to happen. So, I mean, that's your playoff schedule. Jimmy, what is your, you look at that, what's your first reaction?
Well, I mean, what you see Seattle losing handily to San Francisco. Jacksonville's going to win, and like you said, the ace in the hole at that Miami game is Tua, and I'm happy the Dolphins are in the playoffs. It was nice seeing the AFCs come down to the last game yesterday. Who else? I think the Giants go in and beat Minnesota. That's an up and down team. We'll see what happens. Cincinnati, easy win. And again, Dallas should beat Tampa Bay.
Yeah. No, it'd be like I said, I don't mean to be disrespectful to Tampa Bay. I don't want to be arrogant, cocky, especially going off of that last game. But Tampa Bay, I'm telling you guys, has done nothing all year. Show me a game they've done something that made you say, "Look out."
And yesterday we played them. They had their starters in through the half. Brady came out hot. Their center went down, so now they lost another offensive lineman. Now Brady, once we start a safety blitz in it, you get Parsons after him, it'll be no problem. I'm telling you, because once we got going and started, we had some safety blitz. We started throwing the blitz at him. Eventually, that's when they pulled him out near the end of the second quarter, and he was pissed. But hey, at that point, it was a tie game, right? And he was pissed. He was playing to win. He wasn't there just for show.
Absolutely, and I appreciate this. The one thing I'll say too is with Parsons, they've got him as a constant DN, and I don't know. Maybe it's just me, and if you guys feel the same, let me know. Or maybe I'm missing something, but I thought he was so much more effective when you didn't know where he was. Sometimes he'd line up at DN, sometimes he'd be linebacker, sometimes he'd be this. You can blitz him, you can this. And when he was doing that, he was so much more dangerous. And I think it was that that great toy, and yeah, definitely need to move him around again. I'm glad someone agrees with me. And I just don't see it. And it takes rushing the passer takes a toll. And Parsons, he's not as big as Tank. He's not as big as some of these guys. His asset is his speed. And I don't know. I just wish they would move him around like they did his rookie season, disguise him and blitz him, and especially against Brady, you can't give him time. If we lose the game, it's because we got zero pass rush and we gave him time, because I think we're going to run into problems if you give him time, because I'm still not confident in our secondary aside from Diggs at the cornerback position. I think the other corner, Bland's a rookie, he's playing solid, but I just think you got Godwin, you got Evans. Diggs usually, if Evans is there, he usually locks him down, but you got the other side to worry about. But I think obviously people underestimate Van Der Esch. He's been a solid linebacker for them. And if you notice some things, the defense started to kind of go away. It's almost that Sean Lee effect, if you will. Van Der Esch has been a constant on that defense when they're playing well. And again, Hankins, they traded him to be a run stuffer, so he's been out the last few weeks too. So Tampa can't run the ball. So if they run the ball on us, that's going to be even more embarrassing. I'm just telling you guys. I'm just saying. I know Cowboy Nation's panicked. I know people want to jump all the ridge. I'm just telling you, this Tampa team stinks, and if we lose to them, I'm going to be pissed off. I'm just telling you, someone's got to pay the price. And I said it before. I hear it all the time with Dak Prescott, and Dak Prescott's great. And I love Dak Prescott. I think he's got the tools, and I love his leadership. But don't compare Dak Prescott. I don't want to hear one other person put Troy Aikman, Roger Staubach in the same sense with Dak Prescott. And call me a boomer. Is that what they call old people? I guess I'm in that age bracket now. I'm in my 40s. So
we're veterans.
But quarterbacks are judged on playoffs. That's the way it is. I didn't make up the rules. That's just the way it always is. I could give two craps about stats, especially the way stats are in this era of football. It's a passing league. Back in the day, now I'm going to sound like a boomer. Back in the day, you throw for 3,000 yards. That was a big accomplishment. That was a big deal. When you ran for 1,000 is a big deal. Now, I don't even know. 18 games. What do you need? 50 yards a game to run for 1,000
Yep.
should be considered a big deal. But I'm just saying Dak Prescott wants to earn his money and wants his respect, which he should get from us. But he's got to deliver in the playoffs. That's it. That's the way you're judged. And if not, he's Tony Romo, he's Danny White, all over again.
You know what it is. And Mike, now you're just some old man, right? Think about Danny Boy. Dan Marino, in my opinion, the best quarterback that I've seen play since I remember watching football. He's got the stats, but he's not, you don't hear his name all the time because what they do, they made it to the Super Bowl once, and that was it. you know? So, and it stinks. And again, to your point, it's winning playoffs, it's winning Super Bowls. So,
Yeah.
to your point.
I mean, Aikman, I don't know what his record. I know at one point he was 11-1 in the playoffs. I think he finished 11-2, 11-3, 12,
Damn.
whatever it was. That's how that's what Mahomes. I mean, you look at Burrows. You look at Burrow in the Burrow in the playoffs. I mean, he was money. His career and his confidence was made in that. They were talking about a window. It's what I love to hear. I love that guy. I think he's a great quarterback. I was a fan of his at LSU. They said, "What about your window? Is your window now?" He said, "Man, my window is as long as I'm playing. That's my window." And that's that's what I love in a quarterback. And Dak, he's a leader. There's no doubt about it. I think sometimes in press conferences he's a little robotic and a little scripted. I wish I saw a little bit more of that, his true personality. When you see him, those NFL films and it's a games in review and and they do all the sidelines, you see the real personality of Dak. I wish you kind of saw that more in some of the interviews, but I don't, I understand some of these guys are the CEOs. They got there's a certain way they got to carry themselves. But I just, I don't know. This is his year. Put up, shut up. This team is capable to go deep in the playoffs. I don't know if they'll get to the Super Bowl. It's, but they got every opportunity. There's not a team that's head and shoulders better than them.
Well, I got news for you. If things don't go the way they should next Monday, and I'm fairly certain you guys are going to whoop their ass, but if it doesn't go that way, you're going to have Sean Payton with his Botox and his facelift coaching for you next year.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think the one that you'd got to watch and it'd be very interesting is McVay. I think he's going to end up parting ways with the Rams. They had a collapse of a year, and he wants to think about things and this and that. So I'm not. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Well, we got Clarence got his playoff tickets.
Damn.
Of course, I'm going. Jimmy, you don't want to fly down to go to Tampa.
I wish I could. I wish I could. That'd be fun. I might not remember the end of the game, but it'll be fun.
I'm gonna be there, and I might make a special appearance on First Take because one of my boys sent me a little inside information that they're going to be at Tampa Convention Center with Michael Irvin Monday. So I might have to go in there, and maybe Stephen A. and I will go toe to toe, and we'll settle this business once and for all. I have to shut him up.
Oh, you see, just for that, I might come down and join in, can pile on about my Knicks and Yankees, who he's trying to bandwagon.
Yeah. And I don't want to look back. I know, trading Cooper, for whatever reason, I don't know all the issues. Bag of peanuts. Well, that was about it. But the thing I'll say is Noah Brown shouldn't be getting a bunch of targets. That's the other thing I'll say. If Noah Brown is getting these targets in the playoff game, we're in trouble and we're going to lose. The big players need to step up in big games. If you go look at every playoff game, just look at all the playoff games this weekend and look who wins. The stars got to step up, and they step up, and that's usually who wins. And if you look at the last playoff game, that didn't happen with the Cowboys. Dak's got to play big. Zeke and Pollard's got to play big, and CD's got to play big on offense. They got to carry that offense. I don't want to see Dalton Schultz leading the team in receiving yards and catches. I want CD, I want the running game, and I want Dak leading the charge. And on defense, it's the same thing. I want to see Parsons, I want to see Tank, and I want to see Diggs. Those guys got to step up, and I believe they will. I'm hyping everyone up. I'm not dogging anyone. I believe they will. Like I said, I think we're going to win the game. But that's what it takes. If you want to win a championship, look at all those teams. The big players step up, period.
You guys you got both your running backs going next week. There's no reason you shouldn't run all over them. Patterson didn't get a whole lot of touches yesterday, but Algier got his touches with Ritter, who's only started 4 games. And I think we ran for 160 yards on them yesterday, 170 yards. Just run the ball. Yeah.
No, absolutely. But they haven't been able to run the ball. And that's where you're like, all right, they've been makeshifting this offensive line. You've got, now you had Biotish is out. So then they move, McGovern to center, and then you're sliding Tyler Smith from left tackle to guard, and you got Peters at tackle. And they've had issues at the line, and they've been lucky because they've had some guys that have been able to step in. Beata should be back. They felt like, they feel he's going to be back. So maybe we get back to that line and be able to run the ball, because Tyler Smith's a very good run blocker. I mean, he likes it. He's a big boy. He likes to go down the field. And obviously you got, Tyron Smith he's getting more comfortable. They do miss Steele with run blocking. But Tyron Smith's getting more comfortable at right tackle. Obviously Zach Martin. I mean, you don't need to say nothing more than that. So I think they've got it, but I saw a couple things in the chat. TY, I think TY needs more targets. No, Brown shouldn't be there. I don't know about the whole 1-2-3 when it comes to receivers. I think you play matchups, but I like knowing that you're going, Mike, makes me feel better. You always bring the luck needed. Well, and the good thing is I'm going to, I got when I've gone to the game, undefeated in my Emmitt Smith 22 jersey at the game. The game that I went and didn't wear it, I talked about it a little bit on Thursday, was Jacksonville. I didn't wear it. I was worried about it getting dirty. I didn't know how that stadium was. People throwing mustard at me and stuff. So, so I didn't want to wear it. So I didn't wear it, and we lost. So I felt I took that loss on my shoulder. I held myself responsible for it. But I will be wearing the 22 in Tampa. We got to pull out all the stops. We make sure I told Tuck you better be wearing that throwback Aikman. We got to throw this thing back and handle that business. The one thing I'll say, when they go down to Tampa, when they go to Tampa and they win the game, I think the pressure and everything is going to be so just lifted off of this team. They may, that's when they could be making their run. I think they've got so much pressure. I think I tweeted it out today. All the pressure is on Dallas. All the pressure. They had a crappy game on Sunday. I haven't even heard. I didn't even want to listen to the media today. I usually, after a loss, I kind of just hide for 24. I have a 24-hour rule. So I'm sure we got absolutely destroyed on every channel. So they're going to hear it all week. And then you're going to hear about Tampa. Brady's undefeated against Dallas. He's never lost to him. Beat him earlier this year. Beat him in the opening game last year. In New England, we could never beat him. So they're going to get all this stuff in their head. And all this pressure is just going to be mounting on Dallas. And it's a matter of how they respond. Now they respond. They light them up like they should. Game shouldn't even be close. I think that just the weight's off them. They're rolling from that point.
Dallas got to say, not going all the way to Tampa to go home on empty pockets.
No, absolutely not. And I saw something.
Henry Hill, Henry. This is not the first time I saw it on quite a few posts yesterday on Cowboys social media. People saying, get rid of Zeke.
For what?
Just have Pollard and whoever else would be with him.
Why?
I don't know. I'm not the Cowboys fan.
It's so idiotic. I mean, it's just I don't even justify any of that stuff with comments. People are just so stupid. I saw it in more than one play, at least a few dozen comments saying that yesterday, and we just saw it right here. Yeah. Well, first of all, Henry Hill has got to be a moron. I mean, I hate to talk bad about one of our viewers this way, but Zeke is a powerful runner. He wears down the defense. If you have a half a brain on anything, you want to use him to wear it down. And Pollard is your speed to the outside. Now, does Dallas use them right all the time? Probably not. I've seen them run Zeke on a long sweep outside, and I've seen them run Pollard inside the 5 when you should be running Zeke there and that. So that's an offensive coordinator issue. But you got great weapons. Both of these running backs, great hands. Zeke's a great pass protector. Pollard's actually gotten better in pass protection, but he's a weapon. He was a receiver some in college. I'd put them on the field together. How about that? I'd put them on the field together more often. And again, with the tight ends, I saw 2 tight ends set as the key. I agree. I don't think we saw much of that yesterday. I love Ferguson. I love Hendershot. I think, Dalton Schultz, he is what he is. He makes some good catches. I give it when he catches the ball, please fall to the ground, because I always get worried that he's going to fumble every time someone goes near him. But we've got the weapons. So there's no reason, like I said, Tampa does not have the players to match up to us man for man. So that's just the way it is. I know that the Brady effect, but he's a 45-year-old man. Don't need no has-been messing around with this football team. Now, I respect Brady. But this ain't the Tom Brady that we've seen the last few years. I mean, Jimmy, they're in your division. Am I right or wrong? You can correct me.
I mean, just seeing what I saw yesterday and seeing them play most season, unless you guys completely shit the bed, there's no way you're not beating that team next week. So like I said, you just get Brady, uncomfortable out of the pocket. You run all over them. There's no reason if you have both guys running next week, Zeke and Pollard, you're not getting upwards of 170 yards, 180 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Easily.
No, absolutely not.
And then it frees up Dak not having to throw in a double coverage, triple coverage, and make some, fatal errors.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But we'll get into it. But what other game? I mean, when you're looking at it, what other game intrigues you? What other game intrigues you with the playoffs? What is one? If you're an average fan, what's the game that you're saying, you know what, I want to check this out?
Well, it would be Miami Buffalo. I would say Miami Buffalo. And I think part of it is just, old school AFC East, but it depends. If you have Skylar, Stewart, whoever's name starting for Miami, it ain't going to be a good game. But if you have Tua playing, that's going to be, like you said, they were in Buffalo a month ago, and that was a close game. Little here and there, and Miami wins. So that's the game I want to watch, but I want to see a starting quarterback in for Miami.
You think that I just don't think Tua is going to play. I think with everything that's happened in the NFL, with the concussions with Tua, with everything that happened in Buffalo, I just think it's going to be interesting. But to Ronnie's, I saw a comment by Ronnie. That's the game that intrigues me as far as I think that's going to be an exciting game. Yeah. I think it's going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be a fun game for an average fan to watch. And this Jacksonville team, I said it, Jimmy. We talked about teams to watch out for early in the year. I said I would not want to play Jacksonville late. I wouldn't want to play the Jets. I was wrong on the Jets. 50-50 wasn't bad. I did say the Jaguars. I think Peterson's a great coach. I think he's very underrated. I think, Philly, for whatever reason, he didn't work out. But I think he was the perfect coach for that team after that idiot they had, Urban Meyer. And it just goes to show you again in football what good coaching can do. And I'll say it again, Mike McCarthy, and I thought I saw someone post it. I think Steven did. Mike McCarthy is so underappreciated in Dallas, and I don't understand it. This team has gone to the playoffs back-to-back seasons for the first time since I don't know when. Someone help me on the year that was. Double-digit wins since the 90s. They won. People forget 4-1 with a backup. This team is probably not in the playoffs if that didn't happen.
Hey, Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn is the reason why your defense is the way it is.
Dan Quinn? No. But hey, Mike McCarthy got Quinn.
Yeah.
And they hire, their first hire was Nolan. That was terrible. But he was, again, he's not stubborn like the previous regime. Get rid of him and get in somebody else. And that's where I give McCarthy credit. He's focused on football. And I'll take that because he's got to, when you're in Dallas, you got to deal with all the crap, right? Jerry Jones is bringing all the garbage with him. You got to deal with all that noise. And I think that he is the right mindset mentality to do that.
One thing I wanted to bring up too, and I know we were talking about games and intrigue, and this is going a little bit ahead, and look at this ain't Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp. I'm not getting into morality. I don't want to hear that. What I am saying is, imagine if the AFC Championship game is at a neutral site. How pissed off would you be if you were a Buffalo fan or a Chiefs fan and you lose that home field for the championship game? Now, again, I'm getting ahead of us by 3 weeks, but that sucks.
No, and that was the one thing that was really, we didn't get into the situation, and he got released.
Yes, thank God.
The hospital. Hamlet got released from the hospital. Just a miracle. Just a miracle that I was more concerned about his brain and any possible damage. And it seems like he's going to make a full recovery. Such a blessing. And I'd be remiss to say one other thing if we're talking about, because I think another person kind of gets lost in all of this is Peyton Hillis. I don't know if you saw that. He's in critical condition. Last I heard, his kids were drowning and he saved them, and he sacrificed himself for that, which obviously any parent would do that. But these things are sad to see, and these are human. That's why I say some of these fans just get taken a little bit too far, with some of the things and the hate. I saw one Twitter guy, he was getting death threats from some Eagle fans on some comments he made. It's like, this at the end of the day, it's a game, and these guys got to go home to their families and everything like that. So it's thankful he's okay, but I know I went long-winded on it. I'd be pissed if I was Kansas City having to play a game at a neutral site. That's just being honest. It's being a fan. Getting to the Super Bowl as a Cowboys fan can attest. It's not easy. I mean, and being the number 1 seed and have that home field advantage is so. I mean, I'm going to repeat the word. It's such an advantage to have. Yeah. NFL was in a tough spot. I get it, but I don't know. No. I'd be upset.
And again, we're not talking.
If I didn't say I'd be upset.
We're not talking morality. I'm not talking about. I'm not getting into all that. What I'm saying is just a situation if it unfolds like that. Not only that, the revenue being lost at the home stadium and all that. It's a shit. It's a shit show. But anyway, we'll see if that
comes Dallas. Maybe if I could buy some tickets, I could recoup some of my money I spent.
Good idea.
I know. So, but anyway, I'd be upset, and maybe is the time now, Jimmy?
Yeah, I think it's that time.
Is it that time to get? I mean, we got to get the Vegas insider. We got to get Uncle Cheech in here because we got a big day. We got to hurry up because I think the championship game's getting ready to start. So we need to make sure, obviously, we get his pick, and then he's got his playoff picks. And I don't know if he did it, but I told him to make sure he has an index card with an envelope or something because he's going to pick the Cowboys game, but I'm not going to let him reveal it until the next week and see if he was right or wrong because we can't have a jinx on this show. So without further ado, let's get Uncle Cheech on here. Let's move some stuff around. Uncle Cheech, you deserve to be in a bigger spot than that. Move me to the small screen and get you up top. How's it going, Uncle Cheech?
How you doing, guys?
Oh, we're doing good. We're gonna look. You got a lot of love. You got a lot of love for Uncle Cheech. So we need to get your expert opinion. How did you do last week? Matter of fact, season.
Yeah, not too good.
Oh, geez.
My only win was my upset pick. I don't know who might have left players out. But before I get started, I want to. You guys heard me talk about my most valued friend, Carmen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he had an accident. I'm wishing for quick recovery. He threw a 40-year anniversary party for his wife. Very nice. They agreed to renew their wedding vows and everything, and he was going to carry over the threshold. Now, little did he remember, he's 40 years older. She's 200 pounds heavier. So when he carried her over the threshold, he went down on his knees, and I had to call Dr. Caldwell, a back and Gillian specialist, to come down here and take care of him. So we're all wishing him well.
Oh, Doctor! I hadn't seen Dr. Caldwell in a long time. Now, is he a doctor? Is he a certified doctor? In some states, yeah, I thought so. Oh, you're pulling one. You pulled one over on us. So let's talk about it. This is where the money is made. This is where Uncle Cheech. I'm talking about people are in Vegas right now. I don't even know how you're not there. Everyone is there. The championship game. The
you don't know where I am.
I don't know.
Maybe he's got a point.
Maybe you are. I want to know. You have to come through with these picks. These are critical money-making picks. I want to hear what you got.
Okay, I like San Francisco over Seattle. I'm going to have to give 10, but San Francisco is really playing good. They got the best running game. Very effective. Defense is great, except for last week. what they call it, a hiccup. I think
Yeah.
what you call it.
Speed bump.
They'll win that game.
Okay.
My second choice, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars +1 over the Los Angeles Chargers.
I gotta ask you on that
what I
line.
see.
I got that. Is it the line that it's when I saw that +1? I'm thinking, man, that's telling you something, at least for me.
Oh, they're playing good. Quarterback's playing good. They didn't lay down last week. They made a play when they had to make it. They won the game. Got them where they are.
Yeah.
It's a lot different than last year under that meathead. What the hell is his name? Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
It shows you a good.
Whatever his name. Yeah.
My next choice is I'm going to take Buffalo -11 against Miami. If Tua's playing, I'll still take Buffalo,
Wow.
but they won't cover.
Okay. All right.
But
So
Buffalo will win the game.
Uncle Cheech, what do you think the spread would be if Tua played? If you had to throw out something,
I think it'd be cut in half.
Okay.
I'd still give them probably 6.
mhm.
I mean, they're on got a lot of motion,
Yeah.
right now that they're playing for their player. You saw them run backs for touchdowns, and I mean,
yeah,
it was just a beautiful thing. I'm glad the man's been released from the hospital.
Yeah. it's
Freak
amazing.
accident. Been watching football for over 50 years. I've never seen anything like that.
No, scary. That was scary.
I just hope they don't start changing too many rules and this and that to make it into a flag football game. I mean, it was a freak accident.
Yeah. It wasn't even a hard hit. I mean, it was
No.
just.
He might have other conditions we don't even know about.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't know.
It's a possibility,
Yeah.
but I've never seen anything like that.
No.
But anyhow, my upset's going to be that was my lock, the Buffalo game.
Okay.
My upset's going to be I'm going to take the Giants
Wow.
+3 at Minnesota.
Now that was the other one. It being a Vegas insider. How the hell are the Giants just 3-point dogs at Minnesota?
Hey, I don't make the line. I just make the money.
It's telling you. It's telling you something, though, right? It's sticking out there. It's telling you something.
What you call it? The Giants rested all their players yesterday. That was my only win I had. They gave them 14 points. I didn't play their guys,
No.
and they ended up covering. The only one that did, I got stung by Green Bay. It looked terrible.
yeah.
Really surprised me. Denver really surprised me. They scored over 16 points. Well, that one, the other one I had Seattle -6.5. They won by 3.
I got to say something on Detroit. Dan Campbell and the job he's done there. That team was fighting. I mean, and there's that team. I don't know if you watched it, Jimmy. I watched that whole game. They were 1-6 at one point. They come back and now they're 9-8. I mean, that team was fighting.
Yeah.
And they acted
They'll
in
be
it.
next year. You watch that team. They'll be a team to be reckoned with.
Yeah. I mean, they had nothing to play for, man. They played
I'm telling
hard.
you.
And
Well, they
it was
said
great.
if they're not going, neither is Green Bay. And they
Yeah.
made sure of that. That's what they said. The coach said.
No, I respect that. I mean, I respect the hell out of that.
That's what you're
That team.
talking about. That's the kind of attitude we want.
Hey,
We're not out there to play backgammon. We're out there to destroy the opposition.
hey, Uncle Cheech, Clarence Beek says that you helped him pay for his winter vacation. You
Very-
helped me pay for my mortgage for the last 3 months. Never mind winter vacations.
Well, after start next week, I got to get your Venmo because you should be able to get some tips. Maybe they're gonna some gratuities. Something for something for the effort, as they
Now
say.
you send me a box of stogies. That's what I'm talking about. My other pick is going to be I'm going to take Cincinnati -6.5. They're the home team. I love the quarterback Burrow there.
Yes,
Great
Burrow.
quarterback. Good attitude. Great attitude. A winner.
Yes.
And I think they'll take care of Baltimore easily. I don't even care if what the hell the guy's name that's hurt. He probably won't play anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. He wants that money. He's probably he's trying to send a message.
And tonight,
Tonight. What do we got? This game's getting ready to start. Hurry up.
I'm going to take TCU
Wow.
plus 13. They don't have the talent Ohio State has, but I think they got the heart. And if they watch the film, they probably know what they need to do against that Georgia team because they really struggled against Ohio State. They were lucky to get out of there with the win.
Oh,
They
yeah.
don't have the talent, but they got the heart. I love their quarterback. Like I told you, a lot of heart, that kid. Take him on my team any day.
No, and I tell you, they showed something. Now, this is, I don't want to bring up anything, so please don't start crying. There's been two huge favorites, two games where there's been a huge spread, double digits in the championship game. One was Auburn, Florida State, and Florida State barely won. Auburn covered. The second one was Ohio State, Miami.
Oh,
Ohio State. Ohio State was a big underdog and won it outright. So when the spread has been this large, you've gotten a much closer game than Vegas predicted.
yeah, I'll take TCU. I'm not going to bet any money on it.
Yeah.
But I'll take TCU. And I'm going to mention, I'm not talking about the Dallas game. I got my pick in this envelope here.
All right, so we have the envelope. It's a 3-point spread right now.
Okay, I'm going to just say one. I'm going to make one comment.
Uh-oh.
You can take it or leave it.
Go ahead.
Dallas is a better team on paper, but they're playing on grass, and Dallas is 1-4 on the grass this year.
No, I know.
Wow.
What's their record against winning teams?
Oh, all right. They're only concerned.
We can take any stat and we can mix it up and we can.
I didn't say I was picking Tampa Bay.
I know.
I'm making the stat.
You're getting me started. Yeah. You got to sit there and get to talk about my team, about grass or stuff like that. That should make a difference. Shouldn't make a difference. But I did hear that. And then there was another stat. They did a stat about the temperature. That what is Dak Prescott's record indoors, outdoors above 50, and then below 50. I mean, it's like you can.
Well, actually, it's going to be real cold down here this
It
weekend.
should be nice. It should be nice.
It said, I know about it. Night it's going to be like in the 30s in Tampa.
Yeah, that for a game. I don't think it'd be.
It's good game weather.
Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, I'd much
I
rather.
was making that point. I heard it mentioned by your old coach yesterday on the pre-game show. He said they were 1-4 on the grass.
No, that's
and
a
I know
fact.
Tampa Bay, like you said, they look pathetic.
We don't hide. I'm not hiding from any of those things. Who'd we beat? We beat Tennessee on the grass. That's our one win. But the other grass game, we had a backup quarterback. You had this, a little bit of that.
Hey, stats.
Well, all I know is, and I'm just saying it, and I don't care what anyone says about it. I've gotten laughed at already because of what happened in Washington. I made fun of their mascot. I made fun of their names. Now, the thing I'll say is I'm not afraid to call my shot. And if I miss, I take it. I am not turning on this team. And that's what I tell them. I'm all in. This team, I'm not going to say, oh, we suck. Oh, I knew it. All anything. I've been a fan my whole life, but I've been a fan all year. This is the same team that I saw lose to Tampa. It's the same team I saw beat Minnesota 40-3. Same team I saw blow a 14-point lead. Same team I saw beat, the Eagles. Same team I saw destroy the Colts in 1/4 quarter, getting 33. Nothing's changed. This is the same team. So either you're with it, you're right, like I said, ride or die. They want to use that, but when the going gets tough, no one wants to ride. They all want to jump ship and point fingers. This is the same team. Nothing's changed. So we got to hope they get hot. We got to hope that they bounce back. They've done it. They've never lost 2 in a row. You want to take your little stats. They haven't lost 2 in a row yet. And every game they lost, they came out big and played well the next week against Cincinnati, against Minnesota, against whoever else. My mind's it's escaping me. Philly they had after the Jacksonville game. So this team has been able to be resilient. So we just going to need it 3 or 4 more times. That's all I ask.
Okay. Relax. Now,
Hey,
anybody out there
I've
wants
seen you a few times. He's hurt.
to Carmenute and Angeline, go ahead and send it to Mike's address if we have it. Poor man, he's going to be out of commission for 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh, man. Well, hopefully he's better. But I just want to remind Uncle Cheech that I first met you. We ran into each other at a Miami game when they had from champs to chumps going across it, and you got one guy in the stand so aggravated he threw his hat down and stomped on it because you told him it's unacceptable what we're seeing on this. Don't tell me about passion and calming down.
That's right.
About your team.
That's why I didn't give up on them this year.
No,
I'm looking forward to next year.
it's always next year, and hopefully they're
This is going to be the fun time of the year. The playoffs are here. A lot of food. Going to have a couple of hens over to the house. Watch the game. Not chicks. Hens. Remember I told you I go out with hens now.
Hey, Uncle Cheech, speaking of which, so is the 40th, they're renewing their nuptials, and he threw his back out. Was the missus taken care of at the end of the night?
Highly unlikely. You could barely move. It was a sad thing to see. I don't know. Carmenouche must have had a couple glasses too much of Chianti and still thought she was 125 pounds instead of 250.
Oh,
I'll tell you what, when I have him come over to my house to go to the tub, they bring in Angeline. He says, yeah. I said, okay. I go out there and I got to take a couple 100 gallons out of my hot tub.
well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You know,
She's a wonderful lady, though. Wonderful lady.
absolutely,
Nice lady.
absolutely. So, anyway, you're Italian, right?
Oh, yeah. Is there anything else to be?
No, I tell people, if your picks suck, I still bet you can cook.
And I do cook. Made I cut all the beans the other day. You guys would be drooling over that.
Let's
Your
cut
own
all.
beans.
I like that. I like that. And absolutely, isn't it? Big girls need loving too. Absolutely. I love all women. You know, it's definitely we want to make sure we get that out of the way. I don't subscribe and agree with some of the comments of Uncle Cheech. Those comments are his own and no part and any reflection of Tag Nation and Jimmy D and Mike Tag.
There's our disclaimer for the week.
All right, Uncle Cheech. Until next time, we will see you, and I will get the reveal of what your pick was.
Got it right here. You guys enjoy the game tonight. I'm getting ready to get in position.
Yes. Enjoy it.
Yes.
May the best team win.
Yes.
All right,
Looking forward to it. Looking
All
forward
right,
to
I'll
it.
see you guys next week.
Grazie.
Good luck to your team.
All right.
Good luck to your team, the Cowboys.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Buona fortuna stasera, Zio Cheech.
Oh, what a bunch of these.
That was
You gotta love.
Can't stop laughing.
You gotta love Uncle Cheech. You gotta love
He's
Uncle.
the best. Plus, he's made me a lot of money, which that's what makes me even happier.
Yes, yeah, and everyone loves Uncle Cheech. I mean, how can you not? How can you not? Man, he's been in this business a long time, and we're thankful that we were able to negotiate a deal, multi-year deal, to keep him on the show.
I'm glad we got him in a multi-year deal before he ends up in that Tulsa King, because that's when the ante's going to be upped.
I know. They had the season finale. I don't know if you've binged watched it yet. Season finale was last night, so watched it. Definitely good ending. Looks like there'll be obviously another season. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
But anyone who hadn't watched it, I'm telling you, Tulsa King, if you like Sylvester Stallone, you're from that, I love obviously a lot of his movies. So yeah, let's add some predictions. We got Cowboys 27-13. What do you think about that? What other predictions do we got for these Cowboys? What do you think, Jimmy?
Well, like I said, you guys will win, and you just run all over them. I think it's more like a 31-10. if you guys play your cards right, you get both, like I said, get both guys running, get Dak where he's throwing maybe 25, 30 passes, reasonable. I think it's a 31-10 game.
Yeah, my man Jeffrey's got a close 21-19. I mean, hey, I'll take any win. So
Sure.
I think Dallas is going to win comfortably. I don't think I won't go as aggressive as Jimmy here. I think Brady's still Brady, and I think Dallas will keep it. He's going to want to. Yeah, he will. Uncle Cheech will want to redo his contract for sure. And my man Steven's got a 35-14. I like that. I like the score. I think Dallas I think we get in the 30s. I just think maybe Tampa get them late touchdown, maybe 31-20 or something like that, make it a little interesting. But I think Dallas stays ahead the whole game. I think it's a comfortable game for them. And like I said, if they get into a spot where Brady's got to just chuck the ball 40 plus times, it may be the last you see of him on a football field.
Yeah, right. And you know what, though? And Evans, I mean, let's see how he is if he's 100% next week.
Yeah.
He might not be, right?
And again, the offensive line is the biggest concern, for them, to me, is their offensive line has been in shambles. Obviously, they lost their backup center. Their all-pro or Pro Bowl center is supposed to be maybe coming back. They don't know. He's been on IR. He just got off IR. He's been practicing, so maybe he comes back. But even if he does, he hadn't played. He's not going to be 100%. I just think it's going to be I think they're going to be in a problem.
So you got, like I said, 31-10. That's my prediction.
So Jimmy, I'm going to give the floor to you. We've been talking a lot of football. Is there, how are the Ranger? I mean, everything else going on? Because I know your Falcons are done, so I got to make sure that we get a few minutes of your time to make sure we're hitting on your teams. Are we looking good, or are we all?
I'm happy with the Knicks right now. They're exceeding expectations. Julius Randle. Look, when we picked up Brunson, I thought it was Rose's pickup because he's friends with his father. You know what? I was wrong. I take back what I said last February or in the offseason. That was the right call. We're playing well. Randall's back. We're in the 7th spot right now, but we've been playing, we stumbled out a little bit, but we've been playing great for the last 5-6 weeks. The Rangers, inconsistent, but you know what? If the playoffs started today, we'd be in it, and that's all that matters, right? Yeah. And obviously, we got another month of football left. Once that comes, we'll be talking other stuff. I'm probably, I got a good basketball NBA insider I'll have on at some point.
Oh, excellent.
But so.
And I'm working on a draft guru, college, player evaluator. So we'll be able to, because I don't know. I'll be straight with you. I don't know nothing about none of them guys. I know the teams, but I don't know. I don't know the in-depth players. So when we don't know, we bring in the experts.
Of course we do. We're not going to sit here and guess. Speaking of which, last week after we got off the air, the friggin' Mavericks just put a dagger in the Knicks' heart. We were playing them in Dallas, and we were up late, and just somehow blew the lead. Doncic is a hell of a player, and just staking our hearts in overtime. But we came back and won the next 2 or 3. So
well. We will get it right. Everything will be good. It's going to be a fun football week. We'll get rolling so we can watch the championship game. I think Dallas, there was some good comments. Dallas center, I think Biotish comes back. I think Dallas is going to be pretty healthy. For the guys that are injured, I think you're going to get LVE back, Hankins back. You're going to get all your guys. Bland should be fine. So I think it would be good. So I was going through, because we usually finish with a video. I'll give a shameless plug. Make sure you guys hit like, subscribe. But I'll be on Thursday night, 9:00 Eastern. We're going to really take a deep dive into this Tampa game. And hopefully we've given you the Cowboy Nation has enough time to kind of let all the anger out, and let's get ourselves focused as fans. We're in the playoffs. We need to get all that energy needs to be on beating Tampa. That's the only goal that we need to focus on this week. And then let's chips fall where they may. So we'll be back on Thursday and do a little show.
But we forgot to talk about
what happened
today. Is 1 year and 4 days ago was our first, wasn't a live show, no comic, our pilot show. 369 days ago we started up, and it's been fun. It's been a good year, and I'm looking forward. It's been nice, chat with everybody and phone calls.
Absolutely.
And it's the best part.
No, I love it. I mean, it is a stress relief for me. That's why I tell people. I mean, I love getting on and interacting and talking, and like I said, Jimmy and I had known each other since high school.
Forever.
Always said we used to prank call radio stations, and one day we said, We always said we wanted to do like a radio show. This is the closest thing. Neither one of us. Radio shows ain't gonna pay what we make. No, I'm just kidding. But so this is fun. This gives us a chance to have interact. So we'll get rolling. But I had to dig down because I do my videos at the end. I try and figure out. I had to dig in, and this one is this is my message to Cowboys Nation. And after we had a bad game, and then I talked about it. We had that game against, I believe, Philly, and then we played Minnesota. This was my post game after the Minnesota game.
Thanks, Ronnie.
I appreciate that. So listen to this because this is poignant. This is how we got to be feeling. The mindset's got to be going into this weekend. So I appreciate it. We appreciate the love. We'll leave you with this. Go enjoy the championship game. Looks like it's getting rolling. And we will see you. Jimmy D and I will see you next week. Again, I'll be back on Thursday talking some more Cowboys. I might be making some surprise appearances on some other shows for this big game this week. So keep your eye out for me. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next week. We'll leave you with this. Listen closely.
I know all the haters out there are having a very bad Sunday after witnessing this beating that we are giving this 8-1 Minnesota team. I told you it was going to happen. Bottom line, we all face adversity, and it's how you respond that matters. And this team just showed you how they respond. So I'm going to keep drinking that Kool-Aid all season long because we ain't done yet. So, Cowboys Nation, you get ready.